So we have five rather, amazing storytellers, 4 stories. And so first off, we have Angus McIntyre, who drove city buses in Vancouver for 40 years. We have Shirley Chan, crusader for sustainable development in Vancouver communities for many years. We have Tanya Paz, business development director for Moda the Car Co-op. And then finally we have Robin Ashwell and Graham Anderson, and they're the co-founders of Shift Cargo Delivery in Vancouver. So first off, we have Angus, and we have, to start off, a quick video. It was made for the city's 125th anniversary, which is great. And so it's going to be a short video, just showing you guys a bit about Angus, and then he's going to talk more.
Well, I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, and from an early age was always interested in the local buses. But when our family moved to Australia, and I was 14, we traveled to Perth, West Australia, and that's where I first saw trolley buses and took quite a strong interest in that. Well, our family kept moving around and finally moved to Vancouver in 1965, and there were 300 Brill trolley buses here running, and so I knew I'd landed in the right place. And after graduating from Point Grey High School, a few years later, at age 21, started with BC Hydro as a trolley bus driver. When I started, all the buses had manual steering, and it was a physical workout with a full standing load to manhandle the bus through the city traffic. In 1969 and into the 1970s, people finished work at 5 o'clock, and they all left at once and tried to leave downtown because that was the direction of the rush hour, was leaving downtown. So the transit system had to funnel as many buses as they could into the core to handle these incredible loads. By the time I retired, the rush hour really had gone from just a 5 o'clock peak when everything all happened at once to more of a spread out thing from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. It was, there was no more intensity at 5 o'clock to deal with. We were on strike in 1971 for 33 days in the middle of winter, the heaviest snowfall in Vancouver recorded for decades, and every night we went out and picketed with the old-timers, and we marched back and forth in front of the Canby garage at 14th and Canby at 4 in the morning through the ice and the snow, and took a 5-minute break, and that was the old way. And in 2001, they had trailers and tents set up, and we were all comfortable, and it was a very different start. I liked to visit with the people. I had so many regulars, and many years I drove the bus through my neighborhood in Dunbar, so you would connect with people in your neighborhood, and that aspect of it was one of the best parts of the job. I would go 42 years ago to pick up a bus at Hastings and Canby dressed like this. This uniform, as a matter of fact. This cash box, $120 of supplies in it, which now would be like $1,200. And we would deal with passengers, with change, sell tokens, drive the bus. So the job was a very different type of operation back then. We were told to get a tackle box for our supplies at the Army and Navy down here. So the Woodward stock was always a really busy stock. It's one of the busiest downtown. And I still remember pulling in there one day, and a guy got on a $5 bill. The fare was 20 cents. And so he hands us over, and I said, "Do you have anything smaller?" And out of his hand of coins, he had all these dimes and nickels. Of course, he took out the quarter and put it in the dish for change, right? And he had the dimes and nickels to pay. People played games too then. A transfer, you had to be at the correct transfer point, no return trips, no stopovers. There was a Sunday pass, but there was no monthly pass. So the transit system back then, you really had everyone got on and paid a fare. There was virtually no fare evasion.
but people still tried to fudge on the transfers. The service area was much smaller. BC Hydro ran the gas, the electrical, and the transportation. So the City of Vancouver, North Vancouver, Burnaby, New Westminster, Richmond, that was it. If you wanted to go beyond there, you were now dealing with Pacific Stage Lines, which was a subsidiary of BC Hydro. And in some areas, you would have a bus maybe once or twice a week in parts of Surrey. So what eventually developed was a demand from the people in Tsawwassen and White Rock, who had no commuter service. This was about 1970, 71. The transit system had been static for years. So these people, without the internet, all got together and they formed commuter clubs. And what they did was they chartered buses, chartered bus lines, and they ran their own rush hour commuter service Monday to Friday, in the morning and the afternoon, to commute into the city. So if you went downtown to Howe and Robson, beside where the art gallery is now, the old courthouse, it is not a bus stop, but at that time, all these people would be standing there waiting. And up would pull the highway bus, and it would have Tsawwassen Commuter Club #2 in the window, and all these people would get on. And it was a do-it-yourself transit system. So there's demand. These people are struggling to commute. The government was not helping them at all, so they did it themselves. And eventually, by the mid-1970s, there was fast bus service, the service expansion, and things really started to improve. So as I look back on it, dealing with the public was a big education for me. Until I retired, the same character types were always there. As you saw in the video, there's some wonderful people that I got to know over the years. So it's a real treat to be here and be part of the project today. And in wrapping up, I'd like to say Gang Hei Pat Choi and Happy Rocky Burns Day because, well, you guys are my name, it's a special occasion. Thank you.